Hello? Hello? I am live, I think. All right, I think I'm live. Yep, I am live. Let's see. Here we go. All right, we're here. We're live. I'm coming down with something. So I might be trying to not talk quite as much today. My throat has been hurting lately. Let me get my counter up. What's up, Crimson and Mariah? Welcome in. Alright, let's make this bigger. And let's start. Let me tweet out the stream, and then I can get my counter up. Alright. Let's get something today. What's up, Victorious Volpix? Welcome in. Really hoping to get something soon. I was honestly thinking about doing the Litwick hunt today on stream, but I don't know. It would be hard to balance it with other things, and also it would be like there wouldn't be as much going on. So I don't know. So I decided against it. I'm like, I'd probably rather get shiny Mew anyway if I were to get a shiny today. What's up, JG? Welcome in. Thank you for the shiny luck. I was also kind of thinking about doing Let's Go, like starting up a new Let's Go hunt, but I definitely want to finish my Litwick hunt before I do Let's Go. I don't want to get locked in, because like with Let's Go, you have to be locked into it. Like you can't do anything else on your Switch while you're hunting in Let's Go. And both my Switches are being used for the Litwick hunt, so if I were to do like start up Let's Go, I wouldn't be able to hunt Litwick effectively. So I wouldn't be able to do that. Maybe you're remembering wrong, but you thought you said you previously wanted to save Mew for the end of your living decks. Yeah, that is what I wanted to do. But unfortunately, there's a very solid chance they shut Bank down. So trying to get some of the pre-Gen 8 exclusive Pokemon shiny before that potentially happens. So if it were up to me, if it was a perfect world, I would save Mew for the end. But ever since the announcement that Bank won't be shutting down in April, but we highly encourage to send your Pokemon up at the earliest convenience, that kind of was like, maybe I should hunt some of the shinies that you physically cannot shiny hunt on the Switch if they were to shut Bank down. So it's unfortunate, but that's just what it has to. That's just how it has to happen. I got the shiny Mew with 8F, wasted 14 hours of your life, it was worth it. How does it take you 14 hours to use 8F to get shiny Mew? You're giving me a lot of ribbons and really down. We'll continue to sort them Violet. How does it take you 14 hours to get shiny Mew with 8F? You just like follow the steps and then it's shiny. Like I'm a little lost with that. Unless you're telling me you like used 8F to make it transferable and you hunted it. That would make a little more sense. I haven't looked super deep into it, but in order to like make the Mew transferable, you just have to have like certain items in your party and then like certain Pokemon at like certain levels. Sorry, certain items in your bag and then like certain Pokemon at certain levels in your party. And I'm pretty sure forcing Mew to be shiny is a similar process. Unless you're talking about, like, playing through Red and Blue, which I don't remember how long that takes. But 14 hours seems like a long time. Although I will say, I'm currently playing through my Y version, and I'm like 12 hours in. Although... Actually, no, it's not 12 hours of playing through, though, because I did a lot of time doing, like, the trades for the Vivians. So that's definitely part of it. Presently, it took you a month and a half to hunt Mew in Gen 1. Do you actually hunted it? I did. I hunted Mew in Gen 1. I didn't get it. That's because I didn't know, like, enough about it, and I was told that wild Pokemon couldn't be shiny unless they were fishing encounters, and I assumed that also applied to the Mew glitch. So I quit on the hunt, because I was like, I think I was like, maybe like 1900 in or something. Like, it wasn't like super far in, but it was like, I thought it was impossible, but it turns out the Mew glitch, like, doesn't, like, you can get any shiny with the Mew glitch. And it's crazy because one of the sets of stats I got was like 1 away from a shiny. It was like, I think it was like the attack stat too, like the one that's more likely to be it. You finally made it live. Nice, welcome in. Can't wait for me to see the shiny Mew right away. I mean, it's a noticeable one. I might see it right away unless I'm looking at chat or something. You got the Mew with the Golden Bridge glitch. The other 10 hours went into playing through Red until being able to do Missing No and then use items. Pokemon needed to make it legal and make it shiny. I see. When you say the Golden Bridge glitch, I'm guessing you mean like the Mew glitch where you use teleport with the person next to Nugget Bridge? Because that's just the Mew glitch. Utilities did it without rare candy glitch, just the 11 available in-game. Dang, that's crazy. Also, Mighty, apologies if I'm not, like, overly excited about you getting your shiny Mew. Like, I'm happy for you. I'm just not, like, super interested in, like, forcing Pokemon to be shiny through unintentional means. Like, and this is gonna sound kind of harsh, but in my opinion, if you're okay forcing Mew to be shiny via a glitch, as opposed to having, like, the actual RNG, like, roll it to be shiny, then at what point, like, where's the line drawn where you're just gonna, like, use cheating devices and stuff to force things to be shiny, you know? That's kind of where I stand on it. Like, if I'm gonna force a Pokemon to be shiny, like, why don't I just use Action Replay to make Pokemon shiny as well? Did I say, what's up, William? What's up, William? So you're pretty on board with the idea that we'll be getting a Let's Go Johto? I really hope we don't. I hope we just get, like, an actual, like, Johto remake. I want traditional encounters, man. I'm sick of overworld crap. I want to be excited about finding shinies in modern games again. Like, for those who don't know, the reason I even, like, started... Like, the reason why my Let's Go Living Dex series is separate from, like, my Kanto Shiny Living Dex series is because before Scarlet and Violet, I was fine doing methods and whatnot. Like, I was still, like, into that. Like, I was like, if I get a shiny, doesn't matter what method I use, I just want to get it live, and it'll be for my Living Dex. But Scarlet and Violet really changed my perspective on shinies, so now I really just like full odds ones. But, with Let's Go, I genuinely thought shinies were too easy to get in Let's Go. And that's sad to think now, because Let's Go is, like, the hardest of the overworld games to get shinies in. But, yeah. I want to be excited. Like, I kind of stopped shiny hunting. If you guys, like, saw my content... If you guys saw my content, like, old school, like, 2018-ish, when, like, Let's Go was a thing, I made some Let's Go videos. And then I, like, didn't really shiny hunt for a while. Because I just wasn't into it. Like, it wasn't fun to just get a shiny once a day, every day. And when Sword and Shield came out, it really, like, reignited my passion for shiny hunting. And I, like, went all in on shiny hunting after Sword and Shield came out. So, I'm already, like, not excited about Scarlet and Violet, like, shiny hunting in Legends. Scarlet and Violet I'm not excited about. If we get a third game in a row that I'm not gonna like the shiny hunting in, like, it's just gonna be awful. Like, as fun as Let's Go was, I don't need another one. You just accepted you likely won't be buying the next game. I probably won't be buying both versions of the next game. Because I'm sure it's a remake. It depends. Like, if it's an actual, like, good remake, maybe I will. But, I mean, my plan was to not buy both versions of BDSP. And the only reason I bought Brilliant Diamond was because it was half the price. And I was like, I mean, it's a good deal. I still haven't even opened it, but... Yeah, I think we're for sure getting a Johto remake. That's my prediction. I just hope it's not Let's Go. I think it would be very strange if they did another Let's Go after 6 years. Was it 6? 6 years? Yeah, 6 years. I think the only reason they did Let's Go in the first place was to get the Pokemon Go fans into the main series games, and for the most part that worked. But, like, Let's Go... Here's the thing. The reason why I don't think Let's Go for a Johto game would make any sense is because, one, if we're talking a Johto game, obviously it's going to include Kanto in it. Not only would it make Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee completely obsolete of games, but it would also make them even more disconnected from the rest of the series than they already are. Because they would be, like, obsolete. Because Johto would just be, like, you get all the Kanto Pokemon and Johto Pokemon. So I don't want that. Also, like, when I want to see a remake being made, I want it to include later gen Pokemon. Like how Fire Red Leaf Green was. Like how Heart Gold Soul Silver was. Like how Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was. I want, like, an area, a post-game area, that will include some later gen Pokemon. Doesn't have to be all of them, but just, like, have a nice area to, like, catch some Pokemon that are newer than Johto or even Gen 4, because Heart Gold Soul Silver did include the Gen 4 Pokemon. So yeah, like, if the next game's Let's Go, I will be pretty devastated, I'm gonna be honest. I want a traditional style Pokemon game. The only thing I can think of that would make sense for them to do Let's Go is the fact that they did Let's Go for the second remake of Kanto, and this is going to be the second remake of Johto. That's the only thing, but I don't think that reason is good enough to actually validate a Let's Go game over just like a traditional remake. So I don't know. I really hope we don't get Let's Go. Sorry all the Let's Go fans, I really hope we don't get another Let's Go game. One was enough. I would rather get a Legends game than a Let's Go game. Plus the mechanics in Let's Go were so jarring. You pretty much had to catch combo to level up your Pokemon because the trainer battles didn't give you enough experience. And it was just like, pick one thing or the other. If you want the Go mechanics in a mainline game, make that all of it. Don't like have... Like, it just felt weird not having traditional wild Pokemon battles if you had traditional trainer battles. Like, it didn't make sense. And vice versa. Like, if you wanted to have Go mechanics, then why have traditional trainer battles? You want the new games to be more like Sword and Shield, Legends ruin Pokemon games in your opinions? I don't think Legends ruin Pokemon games. I think Legends shouldn't be taken as the norm though. Like, I think Legends is a nice change of pace for Pokemon games, but it shouldn't be the new standard. And the thing about Scarlet and Violet is that I think Scarlet and Violet ruined the mainline games. Scarlet and Violet took everything that was great about Legends and made it worse. And then took everything that was great about, like, the past games and made it worse. Like, it just... Like, Legends at least is enjoyable to go back to. Even if I don't like the shiny hunting. Scarlet and Violet has nothing going for it after you beat the game once. You also want to wait to make sure there isn't DLC. They've never done DLC for, like, a remake, so I wouldn't expect them to make DLC for a remake game. I really hope in some reality there's like Game Freak listens to all the critique about their games. Especially when it comes to like shinies and whatnot, because I think they've been too focused on making shinies like a main staple of the games. When, I mean, like, from my perspective, they are like a main staple, but they shouldn't be put in the forefront. They should be treated as Easter eggs. Not a main thing you gotta go for. Too many people have gotten hooked on, like, trying to get every single shiny that the Game Freak feels like they need to make them as easy as possible and as obvious as possible to, like... When before it was, like, they were never discussed. Like, in-game. There was slight hints towards them in a couple games. Like, I don't want to be, like, a gatekeeping or anything, but shinies should just be rare, and there should be good ways to make them easier if you, like, figure out what the method is. Not, they should be uncommon, and then they should be easy if you, like, super free if you do the method. So that people can just get a shiny living dex. Like, I don't agree with that. What's up, Black Cat? Welcome in. What would be my next ideal game? So, like, if we're talking, like, perfect world, my next ideal game would be just, like, a brand new game. That's a traditional style, kind of like Sword and Shield. No overworld shinies, lot better, more polished mechanics, hidden mechanics that are fun. You can have overworld Pokemon, but just don't have them show up shiny in the overworld. And I guess to make everyone happy with that, because people were so, like, freaking out that they might be missing shinies, because everyone's a baby about that. Sorry, not sorry. I guess just make the shiny value rolled when you encounter them as opposed to when they spawn in, and then that would probably solve it for a lot of people. But yeah, so you can have overworld Pokemon, just don't have them show up shiny in the overworld, because I like it when shinies are actually rare from the start. Make a better method than the Brilliant method. Make a method that's worth doing for people who want shinies to be easier. Have routes. Maybe have an area that is more open world, kind of like how the wild area was, but just done better. You know, and then like just stuff like that. But I know we're not gonna get that. I know we're just getting a Johto remake. So, in the sense of what I'm expecting us to get, I just want a traditional style Johto remake that offers more than what the past Johto games have offered. So no Let's Go Johto, and have it be quote-unquote faithful, but post-game, have it include more than what the originals included. BDSP, the biggest disappointment for me was that it didn't include, like, anything new post-game, and it only included the first through 4th gen Pokemon. When, what I love about remakes normally is that they include the later gen Pokemon. They're, like, modernized versions. Like, don't treat the later gen Pokemon like they don't exist and you can't put them in that game or anything. Have it be a modernized version. I don't want a one-to-one replication of Gold and Silver that I already own. Like, BDSP, like, I still enjoy BDSP, but, like, they only made a handful of changes, and only one of those changes was actually good. The rest were, like, either nothing or not, or, like, worse than the originals. Did I already finish my Alpha Dex? So in the background, we have Legends going. We're waiting for Distortions so that we can just try to go for those while shiny hunting other stuff. Because we still need most of the Distortion exclusives. But there's still a decent amount I need. I am currently at 260 out of, I believe, 322 is the max. So we're getting there, but we still have to get like all the Burmese, and that's going to take forever. We're going for Distortions. That's going to take forever. Right now, we're just going for Magnemite. Because if we get an Alpha Magnemite, we're done with that line. One thing helped you different is different too for fun plays. You want all shinies, yeah. One thing helped you is different to for fun plays. I don't know what you mean by that. Want all my shinies to have same, so you'll have to hunt the later. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're speaking a different language. Or should I say have the same OT, so you have to hunt them later? Okay, so, I mean, like, I get that. Like, that's kind of how I do it, but some shinies you just can't get your OT, like the Partner Cat Pikachu. So, I'm not, like, super strict, but obviously, yeah, like, I'm not going to trade for shinies or anything. Workflow is immaculate. Yeah, I don't think we've gotten Distortion to show up yet. It's been, I think, and I had this running before I went live. I think it's been going for like 30 minutes already. Autocorrect screws you all the time. Yeah, I know, I get it. You don't know why, but you can't really expect Johto games after all the tweets about Gen 5 Pokemon Company made. What do you mean they made tweets about Gen 5? Are you talking about when they tweeted about, like, that scene at the end of Black and White where En's flying on Reshiram and Zekrom? They did that for, like, every generation, and people just didn't notice, I guess. They're just, like, tweeting out all the generations in prep for Pokemon Day. They also had Johto, like, Gold and Silver music playing in the announcement for the presents, and in YouTube, they set the game title to be Gold and Silver, so something's happening with Gold and Silver. I don't think it's Virtual Console, because that would be very strange for them to only do Gold and Silver Virtual Console and not, like, Gen 1, 2, or 3. So, yeah, also, it makes no sense for them to do Black and White remakes before Johto remakes. Not only does that break the tradition, it also, like, Heart Gold, Soul Silver are older games than Black and White. They're more due to be remade than Black and White are. So, like, I hate to be that guy, but it wouldn't be fair to all the Johto fans to make Black and White remakes first. It also just wouldn't make sense. Like they did Gen 1 remakes in Gen 3, being Fire Red Leaf Green. They then did Gen 2 remakes in Gen 4, being Heart Gold Soul Silver. They then did Gen 3 remakes in Gen 6, being Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So many people thought we were getting Gen 4 remakes after that. And I was like, we're probably getting Gen 1 remakes after, because Fire Red Leaf Green are older than Diamond and Pearl. Sure enough, we got Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which are Gen 1 remakes. Then we got Diamond and Pearl remakes. Next in line is for sure Gold and Silver remakes, so I don't know why everyone is convinced we're getting Black and White remakes. Sorry, everyone. Like, it kind of blows my mind how many people are convinced we're getting Black and White remakes. It not only would be the more obvious thing for them to do to make Gold and Silver remakes, it would just make so much more sense overall. Also, I'm so glad I just waited 30 minutes to get a thunderstorm to show up. That's awesome. I love these distortions, man. I love how they have weathers that prevent them from showing up. It's so lame. What's up, Francisco? Welcome in. Dabble in any modding, either software or hardware? Well, I mean, I custom painted this Game Boy with the Charizard on it. So that's like kind of a modification, I guess. I have modded my Wii with Homebrew in order to get the mod for Rumble Weekend. Other than that, no, but I plan to homebrew a 2DS I just got, so I can like back up saves and stuff and re-download the stuff that you can't download anymore. BDSP ruined remakes, in my opinion. The art style, lack of innovative features, plain game, and nothing added from Platinum. I don't think the art style I got used to, but I still can't help but be like a little disappointed we didn't get like a full scale like remake of Diamond and Pearl like in the Sword and Shield style, because every other remake has been in like the style of that generation. So like Fire Red Leaf Green was in the style of Ruby Sapphire Emerald, Heart Gold Soul Silver was in the style of Diamond Pearl Platinum, and then like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was in the style of X and Y. So it was really kind of disappointing to me that BDSP wasn't in the style of Sword and Shield, but I think the main reason why they did that is for the Poke Radar. I don't know how the Poke Radar would have worked in like a non-top-down view, like chibi style game. I think that was probably one of the main components. But yeah, I kind of agree. I think BDSP kind of ruined remakes. I would rather just see new games. As long as they're not overworld. Like, I'm so sick of the overworld crap. Like, we have so many different regions of Pokemon, it's okay to tell different stories in those older regions. You know? Like, Legends kind of had a good thing going for it. They all don't have to be open world, though. We don't need open world Pokemon. We figured that out after a decent overworld game and a very bad open world game. When Legends isn't even considered open world, it's like a half open world. What's up, Wieners64? Welcome in. What a name. You just want to finish evolving your Love Ball decks, but you lack the motivation. Yeah, I don't know what I could say about that. You just catching every Pokemon in a Love Ball? That seems very difficult. I guess you'd probably just breed for most of the stuff, right? How are you hippie to the big P day? I don't know what that means. Yeah, base name. You understand the sort of expectation for when it should come, but they probably want to fill the yearly release thing they've been doing. Yeah, like, a lot of people don't want to see a mainline game. I get it. They want them to take more time on their games. But I just... Not only and I just want to have a new game that I'm excited about, which I still am unsure if that will even happen, but I just don't see them waiting 2 years to release a mainline game. I don't see that happening. Like, or sorry, like 3 years technically, because it'd be like next year if they did that. They made like art showcases for Black and White 2 a few times out of nowhere. I saw one, but they were just like saying like they were like, "What's your favorite team?" Like it wasn't just Black and White. Like they'll probably do it for other games. It doesn't make any sense for them to do Black and White. I could see them doing like, I really don't want to see this happen, but I mean, you know how they did like a double release with BDSP and then Legends like 2 months later? I could see them doing that where it's like a Johto remake and then like a Black and White whatever game that's like different after that. I could see that happening, but I don't know. Nice, you homebrewed your 3DS, you just modded your second SP. Nice. Do you do the SPs to mod them, just like the screen? I thought about switching out the screen on my backlit or my frontlit one, and it's like the same price to just buy a backlit SP. So I was like, that's not worth it. So I don't know if I'll ever do that. I mean, it might not be anymore, but at the time it was like this Game Boy SP was like $90. And an AGS 101 like kit was also like $90. And I was like, why would I buy just a screen when I could just buy a whole nother system with the same screen for the same price when I don't have to install it myself? How you doing? Nice to see another one who films the games. Yeah, capture cards just aren't worth it to me. I have a capture card for like my Switch. Like when we have like actual HDMI ports, I use a capture card for those. But like once we get a space-time distortion to show up, I'll switch over to capture card for that. But yeah, it's not worth it to buy capture cards. They're way too expensive. In order for me to like get the most out of them, I would need at least 4 of them, and that's just like way too much money. Like, to buy one is, like, whatever, but to buy 4 of them is just, it's too much. It's not worth it to me. Especially because I feel like these look totally fine. Totally acceptable. How much was Shiny Hunter until you encountered first Shiny in Scarlet and Violet DLC and Nosepass? Since then, started to Shiny Hunt in older games. Unfortunately, wish you started sooner. Hey, better late than never, man. Yeah, you get hooked once you find your first Shiny. That's what happened to me. Like, I had no interest in getting into shiny hunting. My friend just said I should try to get a shiny Dratini because Dragonite was my favorite Pokemon. And I was so hesitant to do it. And I just wanted to do. I was like, you know what? It would be so cool to get a shiny Dragonite. And even though it took me over triple the odds to get in like 2 months of hunting it, after getting it, it was like the craziest thing ever that I was just immediately hooked. And like, I was like, well, what do I hunt next? Like, I want to do that again. Think about saving up to a GB operator so you can play on an emulator instead. Yeah, the GB operators are cool. I don't really need one though. Because again, like, I would need 4 of them to like effectively hunt the same way I normally do. And even though it's not as much of a capture card, I still just not too sure about that. But for those who don't have like who don't plan to like multi-hunt or just like you could literally just some people buy Game Boy operators just to back up save files, which is also nice. The reason why I don't need that is because I have an R4 card and there's a program you can install onto R4 cards that back up save files if you have a DS Lite or a DS Fat. So I've already backed up like my main like leaf green file that has all my shinies on it. I have it on my computer and I can use it on an emulator just to look at my shinies on my computer, and it's pretty cool. You're in a shiny home right now in Pokemon Sword. You're in a shiny home right now. I don't know what that means. What's a shiny home? You try to get every mon possible in their first evolution. You just had to breed and evolve them now. Oh, I see. Yeah, you get those like breed jacks. At least it's easier to do that now with like the item printer. The item printer is probably like the best thing that the Scarlet and Violet DLC added, but again, that's not like enough to keep me interested in the game. Because I'd rather just have those items in like Sword and Shield, and you can't trade between the games, so. It'd be cool if you could have held items in home, and you could like send Pokemon over with a held item in home, but I totally get why they don't do that. That would cause a ton of issues. Has there ever been a Paldea anime arc? Where is the gym leader love? I haven't, like, I tried to watch the anime. When I was a kid, I watched some of Gen 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then when I wanted to like watch it, I've only seen like the first 3 seasons. I think I'm on season 4, and it's just like it's a hard thing to want to watch. So I have no idea. I know Ash isn't in it anymore. That's all I know, which is really disappointing. So yeah, I don't really know much about the anime. Like, at least modern anime. How long do you think it takes to get a shiny in a raid in Sword and Shield? It depends on how lucky or unlucky you are. And it depends on if you have shiny charm or not. Like, there's not like a set time. I can't tell you. I've never like I don't usually actively I've never like actually shiny hunted in Dynamax Adventures. Are you talking about like max raid battles or Dynamax Adventures? Like the ones where you go through 4 of them at once, or the ones where you just find around the map and then you like battle one? What's up, Mimikyu? Thank you for the shiny luck. Is there a distortion somewhere? Nope. A new shell, screen with adjustable brightness, metal buttons, new speaker and battery, and USB charging. USB charging is pretty cool. I have seen you can buy like USB chargers. Not like micro USB, but it'd be like instead of like a AC adapter that plugs into the wall, it'd be like a USB that plugs into a Game Boy. And those seem kind of cool, because then you can use like any power brick for them and then also charge them like on the go and stuff. It'd be kind of cool. Yeah, crazy feel for sure, yeah. Definitely never have thought that I'd be spending 9 months to do a hunt until you got 3 in 1 day as your intro to hunting. 3 in 1 day is crazy. What game did you get 3 in 1 day in? I've only done that, I think, twice in terms of like full odds. Because obviously we do like 30 in a day in like Scarlet and Violet when we mark hunt. So that's like... Yeah, items at home would be crazy. They've never done anything like that, but it would have been so nice. I hate how like BDSP can't trade between like Sword and Shield. Like I would love. I'm so salty about the fact that they did like a pre-order bonus for BDSP to get a set of Apricorn balls, and that was only for like Europe or something. And so even though I pre-ordered BDSP, I couldn't get Apricorn balls in my game, and there's no way to buy them in game. And, like, the people that got the pre-order bonus, they just duplicated a bunch of them to have, like, max of every single one of them. Just because there was a crazy duplication glitch in the earlier versions of the game. And it's just so unfair that there's no way for me to legitimately get Apricorn balls in my BDSP save files. And I would just love to be able to, like, trade them between, like, Sword and Shield. And you can't trade between Sword and Shield and BDSP. It's so annoying. Like, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire can trade with X and Y. Heart Gold Soul Silver can trade with Diamond Pearl Platinum. Fire Leaf Green can trade with Ruby Sapphire Emerald. Why do the new games have to be so disconnected from each other? Oh, I know why. Because the developers are lazy now. Like, I'm sorry, but if you make as much money as the Pokemon Company does, you can afford to make, like, top-notch games. Like, I don't want to hear any arguments against that. I think Spirit Tomb Hates You started this on October 1st of last year. Dang. Is that in BDSP? Or in, the originals? Because it's not in Scarlet and Violet if you started it... Oh, wait. Wait, October 1st of last year. You mean like 2023? I guess that could be Scarlet and Violet then. Unless you mean like 2022. Oh, Sword and Shield. Oh, I forgot you can get it in Sword and Shield. Yeah, that one's kind of cool because it's like Runaways almost. It's like Runaways and then you like open your tent. That's kind of a cool one. And to say you're at home trying to get a shiny in Sword and Shield. Oh, I see, I see. Leaf Green on one system, SR, Bulbasaur decided to start another one. I got the, and the freaking heart is covering up part of your message. Leaf Green one system, SR, Bulbasaur decided to start another one. Got that. Then got a Pidgey right after getting Pokeballs. That's crazy. Yeah, like, I've only done, like, 3 in one day twice, I think, and both of them were during 2022 Safari Week. We got ridiculously lucky during Safari Week of that year. And then my other 2 Safari Weeks have been abysmal. Probably gonna go play games with friends. Good luck on the Mew Bidoof. Well, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the shiny luck. What are your hopes to be revealed on Pokemon Day? Based on what I am expecting, I just want a traditional style Johto game with like more added to it, like better post-game stuff. Something that will make me think that the game was worth buying despite owning Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Gold and Silver and Crystal. You know, BDSP didn't quite make it there considering it's only Gen 1 through 4. They didn't do anything post-game. The changes they made were not really good except for the Grand Underground giving you wild Pokemon. I want like a traditional style Gold and Silver remake, no overworld BS, no Let's Go. And I want there to be, once you hit post-game, I want you to be able to encounter some of the later Gen Pokemon. Heart Gold, Soul Silver, you can encounter up to Gen 4 Pokemon because it's a Gen 4 game. That's awesome. Let's make it so we can encounter some Gen 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 Pokemon in the remakes. Like, that would be awesome. Modernize the old game. You can have it be faithful, but also modernize it, you know? I don't want just faithful. I don't want a completely new game if it's going to be a remake. Well, when I say complete, I would honestly prefer like a completely new game. I just want it to be like traditional. I'm sick of the push to open world. I'm sick of the overworld crap. Like, I want to be excited to like get a Pokemon game again. There's a strategy for it. You knock it out, run into a random Pokemon in the grass, run, and knock it out, go back to Spiritomb. It's there. Oh, really? The only issue with that is that you have a chance of phasing. The other one is like you like run from it and then like open and close a tent. Like you're like camp and then it just spawns in again. Which I think you can do the same for the Swords of Justice. You think your Switch is now broken because you can't turn it off at all? I can't even tell you the last time I turned off my Switch. I used to, when I first got my Switch, I turned it off every time. And I was like, why is it so, like, annoying to try to turn off the Switch? Like, you gotta hold the power button for a few seconds and then go into select power off. And now I've just, for years, just put it in sleep mode. I haven't needed to turn it off. As long as you can put it into sleep mode, you're fine. It's 2 SR in one day and on one system is crazy outside. Yeah, I mean, mine were all like random encounters and also Safari Zone with 6 games running. So it was like, yeah, I like the encounters were really fast, but I was still getting really lucky. We had like a thing where it was, I think it was every 1,200 encounters, we would reset our Fire Red Leaf Green games so we didn't ding dong in the Safari Zone. And we were finding shiny after shiny after shiny, and we just never got to a point where we'd hit 1,200 until, like, much later. You're doing an Origin Dex, and during your Crystal run, you get a shiny Elekid from the egg given from the Daycare Man. You couldn't move it up because of that Dizzy Punch, that's when you noticed it was shiny. Yeah, that's like a weird oversight. I think it's the Dizzy Punch on like all of them. It's like an egg move in that game, but it's like considered illegal in like modern games. It's so weird. So I think the same is for the Iggly buff you get. But yeah, that's the odd egg, and that has a really high chance of getting a shiny. It's like 18%, I think. for a shiny. It's like split amongst like the different species. You get like one of like every baby except for Togepi from it, and then some of them have higher shiny rates than others. Where like some I think will be up to like 3%, and then some will be like 1%. And it's like it totals like 18% for a shiny. Oh, 1 in 60. I mean, same thing. Same thing. Not much different. Very high chance for a shiny. Really hope they bring the first 3-gen Pokemon games to the online service. It's so difficult to play those games now. I just don't see that happening. I think if they were going to do it, they would have done it last year. I think they're waiting for the next console. Although apparently the Switch 2 it got delayed. So originally, it was supposed to be announced in March and then released in September of this year. And now, allegedly, it's supposed to be announced in, like, summer of this year and then released early next year. Which I'm kind of disappointed about. Because that means, like, the next mainline Pokemon game is probably going to be on the Switch. And it's also going to be, like, obsolete after, like, a month or two. I feel like it would have made so much more sense to release the Switch 2 September of this year. But I've heard rumors that apparently Nintendo is just trying to make the Switch the highest selling game console. So that's why they're like pushing it back. You have a serious problem. You can't turn it back now. Nothing works. You can't turn it back on now. Nothing works. Did you try charging it? Is it like docked? As cool as it would be to have the virtual console games on the Switch, one, I think Pokemon Company has an issue tying it to the NSO subscription, because again, you'll have your save files, and then once they decide they want to shut down the Switch Online service, there goes all your save files for those games. So I don't think Pokemon Company wants that. And two, I think they probably would want to wait till the next console so that they don't release these new games, or old games, re-release these old games, and then have them be obsolete in like a few months. So I don't see them doing virtual console. It would be cool, but I also don't pay for the NSO like upgraded thing because I just don't care. Like I'd rather just buy the physical games anyway for like the N64 and whatnot. You're joking, man. Dude, we've been at this for 46... Well, I've been doing this longer than I've been streaming. We've been at this for freaking, like, over 50 minutes. And we just keep getting, like, the max times. And then right when it's, like, about to max out on time, we get a weather where a distortion doesn't appear in. Like, what is that crap? It's so lame. Fully charged, undocked, tried loading back into Arceus and just crashed and stopped responding. I don't know how to help you there. I've never heard of someone having that issue before. I would do some Google searches, and then if you can't find anything, contact, like, Nintendo support. The only, like, weird thing I've had happen with my Switch was, like, my Joy-Cons on my new Switch for some reason, were just refusing to connect. Like, I could connect them to the other, like, this Switch easily, but the other Switch that they came with, they were just absolutely refusing to connect no matter what I did, and then randomly, they just started working again. It was very strange. Like, I was looking up, like, everything you could do to, like, disconnect and reconnect Joy-Cons, and I was doing everything, and it just was not working. And then one time it just worked, and then they were totally fine. It was so weird. It's gonna be like Black White 2 releasing on DS when the 3DS was just a year into its lifespan. It was like a year into. I hope not, but I mean, if that's probably gonna have to be the case now if they push back the Switch 2. It would have made so much more sense to release the Switch 2 this year. Like, the Nintendo Switch's lifespan is already like longer than most other video game consoles' lifespans, and they're pushing it like another year just so they can like have the title of most sold console of all time. It'll probably be backwards compatible, so it won't be that bad. That is true. I will say that is true. I just want to see a Pokemon game on a stronger console. Like, don't get me wrong, the console isn't the issue when it comes to Scarlet and Violet, but it would just be nice seeing like a game that was designed for like a brand new console, as opposed to the older console when the next one's going to be like a massive upgrade. I guess that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I like wouldn't be that bad. I just feel like it should be it should be okay to expect like better graphics in Pokemon games and like 60 FPS solid, like no frame drops. And the Switch 2 is like the perfect way to like get that, because it's supposed to have like the same power as like a PS4. Like, if you ain't running a freaking Pokemon game at 60 FPS on a PS4, like, what are we doing, you know? Like, I still play on my Xbox One and it runs great. It'd be awesome to have a Switch that runs like that. What am I hunting behind the Game Boy Advance? We're waiting for Space-Time Distortions to show up because I'm doing a challenge where I try to get every alpha, and there's a few Pokemon that are exclusive to Distortions. So in this case, we're going for Alpha Magnemite because that's the only thing we need from the Distortions in the Cobalt Coastlands, which is where I'm at right now. You can't really tell, but that's where I'm at. It's a bummer if Switch 2 is next year. I feel like this year would be the perfect time for a new gen Nintendo. Yeah, it just felt like a great time. It's like, when did the Switch come out? 2017? 7 years? I guess that's probably standard. Yeah, but it'd be 8 years if they release it next year. Because the Switch 1 was released like early 2017, wasn't it? Wasn't it like February or March of 2017? I remember getting it like a month or two after it came out because it was hard to get. But I just remember seeing all the commercials of like Breath of the Wild because that was like a launch title. Developers have been making games with outdated technology. They haven't learned to make them on even current generation hardware. Yeah. Yeah, it just would have been nice if they were making a game with the mindset of this is going to be on the way more powerful Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be called. We don't know what it's going to be called yet. Everyone just says Switch 2 because it's like the easiest thing. Remember when the Switch was like codenamed NX? Remember that? Isn't that such a throwback? Everyone's like, the Nintendo NX is coming out. That was crazy times, man. Crisis averted? Nice. Did you just start working all of a sudden? PS2 Slim, almost the size of OLED. I don't know what the PS2 Slim is. Is that like a new thing? I mean, it says PS2, so... Unless it's like PS5 or PS4. I don't know. You really love shiny hunting on Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I want to do like a DTQ for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I love the Alola games. Obviously, they're not perfect, but it was really fun to play them. And I did a lot of shiny hunting in those, like, off-stream, like, offline. Like, I wouldn't record it. I would just like for my team, I would just do SOS for like Rockruff for my team, like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I was gonna do resets for the Wimpod, and then I did like 1,000 and was like, I'll just breed it, and I did Masuda method for the Wimpod for my team. Those were good times. The Slim PS2 released a long time ago. Oh, so I don't know why we're comparing it. Are you talking OLED of like the Switch OLED, right? I mean, the Switch OLED's like pretty much the same size as the regular Switch. I think it's like slightly bigger or like longer. I think it's slightly longer. But obviously it has to be the same height because of the Joy-Cons. The system was like the final one they made before PS3. It's similar size and thickness to OLED. Oh. So why are we talking about the PS2 Slim? I don't think Nintendo's doing that. We already have the OLED Switch and the Switch Mini. I don't think they're making a new Switch. Technically, the traditional Switch is a newer Switch, too. You looked up what to do. You've never had that happen before. Yeah, usually when something goes wrong, I just, like, do a Google search, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. But yeah, when I was having issues with Joy-Cons, it was like, I was doing everything that was like, do this to disconnect your controllers, and it just like, and then reconnect them, and I'm like, it's not working. They're like, do this, now do this, now do this, and then like, nothing was working. And I was like, I think these are just broken. And it was like, it was my new Switch. I was like, I just got the Switch too. Do I have to take this back? And then all of a sudden, they start working, and I've never had an issue since. Just comparing old systems running good to new Switch users. To new Switch issues. Wait, what? Just comparing old systems running good to... I don't know what you mean by they're running good to new Switch issues. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, we've already had different versions of the Switch. They've done that with like every console. Yeah, if the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, that'll be cool. The only issue is, as someone who plays all the mainline games and whatnot, it's gonna suck having to buy 2 of the new Switches in order to, like, trade. Because I'm sure it'll be fine between, like, a Switch 1 and Switch 2, but I'm sure, like, if the next, like, Pokemon game that comes out on the Switch 2, I'm sure you won't be able to get that on the Switch 1. Pokemon run bad. You mentioned old PS games run good. No, I'm saying I wasn't talking about old like PlayStation games running good. I was saying like it would be hard to make a Pokemon game run bad on a system that runs like a PS4. Even though it's guaranteed that the reason Scarlet and Violet run bad is not because of the system. That's just because they don't know how to do things properly. Dude, am I just destined to not get freaking a distortion in this area now? Is that what's happening? I've been streaming for an hour, and we've been waiting for so long, and we just get the weather that forces you to not get a distortion. That's so stupid. Who designed that, man? Who freaking designed distortions in this game? Who's like, man, let's have them wait upwards of 40 minutes, and if like a certain weather happens, you're just screwed. That's so poorly designed. It should have been like half the time max, and thunderstorm, like severe weather, should not affect it. It's like, why do I even have this game open if it's just gonna keep giving me thunderstorms after 40 minutes every time? The spot must be cursed? No, it's not. Poor game optimization. Yeah, it's not this. Dude, it's so crazy how many people think it's the Switch that's the issue. Like, don't get me wrong. If we can play Scarlet and Violet on a more powerful system, I'm sure it will run a little bit better, you know? But, like, we got crazier games that have better graphics, more detail, more to them than Scarlet and Violet that run perfectly fine on the Switch. They just didn't know how to make the games well. Yeah, Legends is in the back. We're trying to get Distortions to show up because we're going for all the alphas. And I need Alpha Magnemite, so I'm in the Cobalt Coastlands waiting for Distortions. And we got a max timer. And right before it was pretty much going to be guaranteed a Distortion to show up, I got a weather that forces you to not get a Distortion to show up. And it just resets the timer. Like, how great is that? And then I waited like another 15 minutes and just got another severe weather that forces you to not get a Distortion to show up. So I've had to reset this timer 3 times, and I haven't gotten a Distortion yet, and it's been over an hour since I've like had this game open. Like, that's so poorly designed, man. Like, I don't know who thought it would be great to have a Distortion take upwards of 40 minutes to show up. It should have been like 20 minutes max. Like, if I'm doing runs in an area, I should have a solid chance at finding a Distortion just going through the area. Not, oh, I have to sit here and wait and do nothing for 40 minutes. Like, the only time, like, you shouldn't be getting a Distortion should be if you get, like, the max timer. Not if you get not an early timer. Really just inexcusable with the Pokemon. Yeah, like, all those people that are like, well, Pokemon's not about the graphics. It's like, yeah, I agree. Pokemon's not about the graphics and, like, the, like, whatnot. But all the other Pokemon games have at least ran properly. Like, Scarlet and Violet is, like, hard to want to, like, play because of how bad it runs. Like, I don't get motion sickness, and I know a lot of people do, so I feel bad for those people. But, like, when I was hunting for Tatsugiri, I literally was, like, my eyes were starting to hurt because of how bad it was, like, the frames. It wasn't even, like, the frames dropping. It was, like, the inconsistent frames. It was, like, good frames, bad frames, good frames, bad frames. Like, just constant back and forth. Like, it hurts your eyes. And it's like, graphics should be better. Like, yeah, I don't think Pokemon needs to have, like, the best graphics. Everything needs to look real. Like, but it needs to look better than what it has. Like, it's inexcusable, like, how bad the modern Pokemon games look. Just want to say, ahoy, matey, welcome in. How's it going? Sounds like your weather timer and Distortion timer got synced. Yeah, but it's just random. And also, I think they're always synced. I think they are always synced in a way, because pretty much every time it, like, changes, like, not every time, but a lot of the times I'll get a Distortion to appear, it'll, like, change weather right then and there. It's just right now I'm getting super unlucky and getting one of the 2 weathers I can get that will make it so I can't get a Distortion every time. Mike Breaks, thank you for the shiny luck. Thing is, I've had pretty decent luck with the Distortions, like, so far. We got a Cyndaquil from one that we needed, and then we got both Shieldon and Bastiodon. And before I even started this challenge, when I just played the game, I ended up getting Magneton and Magnezone already. And I already have one of the Weaviles. So, like, there's only so many I need. I need, like, Magnemite, both genders of Sneasel, I think female Weavile. I need the whole Porygon line, so that's a big one. And then I need Cranidos, Rampardo, so I only need, like, 9. When it ultimately didn't take us that long to get 2. I don't know, I guess we're just getting worse luck now. I don't think the odds are 1 in 100 for Distortion exclusive alphas, though. I think it's probably closer to, like, 1 in 50. But it's hard to tell. It's just a little suspicious because, like, the first Bastiodon I saw was alpha, and then, like, the 4th or 5th Shieldon I saw was alpha, you know? It's hard to think that it's, like, 1 in 100. That being said, amongst like the total Distortion exclusives we've seen, it's probably been closer to like 1 in 50, so I don't know. Worst shiny feeling is early game you don't have Pokeballs. I've never had that happen before. I always get worried though. I'm sure it'll probably happen if I hunt Manaphy. Thank God it's not a thunderstorm. Holy crap. Oh, whoops. I'm in the wrong spot on this game. Yeah, there's a chance that when I hunt Manaphy, we get an uncatchable shiny. It's one of the least likely ones to get. Like, I'm like, in terms of, like, the shinies you can get while hunting Manaphy, your most likely ones are catchable Bidoof or Starly or, Manaphy, the way I'm doing it. Those are, like, the most likely ones to show up shiny. The ones that are, like, a lot more hard to, like, show up as a shiny would be, like, a starter, an uncatchable Starly, or then an uncatchable Starly and Bidoof before you get Pokeballs. That'd be the only time I could see actually see myself getting, like, an uncatchable shiny that's, like, not because I'm hunting for a starter or something, and I get, like, the Starly or the Poochyena, but, like, one I just find on my way to the town to get Pokeballs, you know? That Manaphy hunt seems really cool. It's just hard to, like there's so many other hunts I want to do, you know? And it's hard to be like, alright, let's dedicate months to this Manaphy hunt. Maybe after I finish some of, like, my projects and stuff, like, I want to get this Mew. I want to get my Litwick. I want to, like, finish the Mark challenge. And maybe do most of the Milcery challenge. Then I'd probably do Manaphy. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to, like, kind of plan that out. It's such a dedication. Such a commitment, I should say. Imagine getting a double shiny Mew. Yeah, I cannot see that happening. The only time I could see that happening is if I, like, duplicated this save file to, like, this game. I've seen that happen to people. If you, like, duplicate save files, you can get, like, RNG clones at the same time of shinies. I don't know how that works. It makes sense for Emerald, but I've seen people do it in, like, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and I don't know how that works, if I'm being honest. Emerald, it would just be like I hit the same frame at the same time on both games, which is still crazy hard to do. Especially with a hunt like this. We would have to be, like, frame perfect on both games every time, and they'd have to be a duplicated save file. First time you caught me streaming, today's a good day. Nice, welcome in. It would be so crazy to get a double shiny. I've never done it before. I've never done it in, like, full odds. I always have to, like, specify, because I've obviously done it, like, multiple times in Scarlet and Violet. It's just, like, so different. Like, I've even gotten a triple shiny in Scarlet and Violet. Finally! Oh my gosh, dude. I'm hitting this rock. I want feather balls. Dude, I totally get why you guys were, like, confused about the thinking you heard a shiny Sparkle. Because I totally thought I heard a shiny Sparkle right there, but it was my Game Boy game. It was just, like, the perfect part of the song And it kind of sounded like the shiny sparkle in Legends. Dude, I thought that Golduck was shiny for a second. It's just the glowing of its eyes was just like so pronounced on its face. Alright, I gotta get out of the target zone of the Beautyfly. Actually, I can probably be over here more. Alright. Now we wait. You wish they put the shiny sound on the new ones? I'm very conflicted about that. I already think shinies in Scarlet and Violet are just stupid easy. And I think the shiny sound would make it easier. At the same time, the shiny sound adds a little bit more of excitement. And also, in the context of Scarlet and Violet, it wouldn't be like a... Oh, there's the shiny all the way over here. Like, the spawn range and despawn range of Scarlet and Violet is pretty small. So probably would just, like, let you know, hey, a shiny spawned in. If there's one, like, behind you. So, I don't know. I just don't want overworld shinies anymore. Sorry, guys. It's just not as fun. Next game's gotta be Ingrass encounters, and if they do overworld Pokemon, it's gotta be like Sword and Shield, where you don't see their shiny in the overworld until you encounter them. Or like how it is in Go. Like, as easy as everyone says it is to get shinies in Pokemon Go, I genuinely think it's easier to get shinies in Scarlet and Violet. But if Pokemon Go had overworld shinies, then it wouldn't even be close. Like, Pokemon Go would just be way easier. Overworld shinies just make shinies so much easier by default, and I'm kind of over that. I'm kind of over shinies not really being rare from the start. Your shiny luck in Violet is horrible. Just make a sandwich. You'll find a shiny. Make a sandwich and run around for a few minutes. You'll find a few shinies. Do those boosted odds outbreak events. We're getting one in like a day or two. For Fungus, Voltorb, and Voltorb old school style. It is crazy because like I don't want to be like that, but when people say their shiny luck in Scarlet and Violet is horrible, I just imagine they like went more than an hour to find a shiny. Bet you'll try to get one. Yeah, I mean, like, literally, like, we'll like grind for shinies to try to get a marked one in Scarlet and Violet, and we will get like 30 shinies in a day. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's stupid how easy it is. Now, I just really hope they don't keep doing that in later games. I want to be excited when I find a shiny. I want to be excited when I play a Pokemon game. I want to look forward to the next Pokemon game, and right now I don't know. I'm in a state where it could easily be a game I'd be excited for, or easily be a game I just don't have any interest in. And I'm gonna be pretty easy to please. Like, I just want one thing out of the next mainline games, and that is traditional encounters. Because even as disappointing as BDSP was, I still enjoy those games, like, way more than Scarlet and Violet. Pretty sure I have a lot more playtime in BDSP than Scarlet and Violet as well, which is kind of crazy because I thought I like checked my Switch profiles. I did not have like nearly as much playtime in Scarlet and Violet as I thought I did. I thought I was going to have just like so much playtime in it from doing my Mark challenge, but I guess it just realistically does not take that long to even like do these challenges I'm doing. Have I got a shiny legendary in BDSP? I haven't hunted a shiny legendary in BDSP. I hunted shiny Darkrai and Shaman in Platinum, and I have sent them up into the modern games so like I can have them in BDSP. I haven't really hunted any shiny legendaries, like full odds at least. I've gotten a bunch in Go though. All right, I'm gonna switch over to Legends now because we're finally, after an hour and 14 minutes of streaming, getting a Distortion. Isn't that crazy? $322, I was right. So we're at 260 out of 322 alphas in Legends. Alright, let's see what we can do with this Distortion. Which game you have the most hours on my Switch? Sword and Shield. Or Sword, I guess. Sword, I have, I think I have over 1,000 hours on it. It's like the only Pokemon game I have like 1,000 hours on. I love Sword and Shield, man. Sword and Shield was like my new Pokemon game. Like if outside of the story sucked, but I've never really cared about Pokemon stories. Any like new Pokemon game, I want it to be like Sword and Shield, just better, you know? Like same kind of mechanics and stuff, but like better shiny hunting method, better story, more like just a little more Alpha Flareon, we actually need this. Oh my gosh. We got an alpha we needed. Oh my gosh. This is actually an alpha we needed. It's not Magnemite, but we will definitely take this. Yeah, I mean, like, I love Sword and Shield. Like, again, what I said earlier today is, like, Let's Go. There was an era in my YouTube where, like, I was shiny hunting Let's Go, and then I wasn't really interested in shiny hunting, because I thought shinies were too easy in Let's Go. That's why it's, like, a whole separate series. But, I kind of lost my passion for shiny hunting when Let's Go was, like, the modern game. And when Sword and Shield came out, it, like, reignited my passion for shiny hunting, and I went so hard in Sword and Shield and in even older games. And it was awesome, and I want to be able to have that excitement again. I'm kind of in the same boat with like Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet and Violet low-key ruined shinies for me, just like the idea of shinies. And I just want to be excited for shiny hunting for the newest Pokemon game again. And I just don't know. I just don't know if the next games are going to be like that. Wait, how many? Oh, we don't need to defeat Magnemite anymore. I don't need to do anything with Magneton. I need to catch Magnezones. Okay. Wait, did someone spawn? I need one more of the exclusive. Three Flareons? I've never seen three of any of the EVs at once. That's crazy. What are the odds of that? Just three Flareons? Not even a mix. Like, not like a Jolteon, an Eevee. Just three Flareons. And there's a fourth one, like, in a row. I've never seen that happen before. Okay, I don't think you can get anything in the water. I don't think there's like any items. I think I got all the items. I haven't done shiny legendary hunt while doing a shiny. Haven't done shiny legendary hunt while doing a shiny legendary. It was funny. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, mythicals are a little different. I've hunted 2 mythicals, and I'm hunting a 3rd mythical. But I've never done like a legendary that you can just get normally in game, you know? Like, none of them, like, Lugias, Ho-Ohs, Mewtwo's, Articuno's, you know, like, those ones. I already have Vaporeon, don't I? I'm pretty sure I already have Vaporeon. I'll check, though. Like, I think at this point, we just need, like, Jolteon and, like, Leafeon, Glaceon, Espeon, I think. And I already have an extra Eevee. Where are these things? Here they are. Yeah, I do have Alpha Vaporeon. No, and then we have Alpha Flareon now. We need Espeon. We need Leafeon, Glaceon. We got Sylveon. And then I also need female Eevee. So we don't need this Vaporeon. Wait, what was... Oh, that's Braviary. It's crazy. I really like... I think it's just my volume's too low. I really cannot tell when the distortion's like about to end. See, like, I did not know it was like getting ready to end right there. And none of them have been female yet. Which is good, because I mean, if we get a female one, I hope it's Eevee, because that's the one that actually has a gender difference. I also don't need the Rhyperior anymore. Because we don't need to defeat Magnemites with ground-type moves anymore. That's good. Did I sleep? We'll sleep. And I shall save. We got something we needed. Let's save this recording. And then 261 now. Progress is progress. Cool about Shaman and Platinum. Yeah, getting the Shaman was cool. I have videos for both Shaman and Darkrai on my channel. I have videos for almost all my shinies on my channel. But Shaman was funny though, because I was recording it like, I wasn't like super into like recording for like live shinies. But I did it for Shaman. And I have a capture card on my 3DS, but it doesn't work anymore, but it was when it was working. and I just had my 3DS plugged into like my laptop while I recorded it, and I was like literally in bed, just like doing like runaways. So I got the shiny, and then I switch over to like I set my computer on my desk, and I switched the face cam on, and for some reason when I did that, it like muted the audio for my mic. So like there's like this whole section before I catch it, like of just no audio. It's kind of funny. Oh, am I adding the wrong one? I am. When am I playing a shiny hunt soon after Mew Bidoof? So off stream, I'm going for Litwick in the Motostoke Gym. I did the other two Motostoke Gym Pokemon, and now I'm trying to get Litwick. After that, I will probably be doing Milcery on stream. And then I want to do Psyduck off stream in Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Ruby Sapphire, or Fire Red and Ruby Sapphire Emerald. And the Milcery will be in Sword and Shield, and I'll try to get a set of 7 of them in Sword and Shield. And then I'll do the rest in Scarlet and Violet, just because I can't, like, as much as I don't like shiny hunting in Scarlet and Violet, it kind of makes it a little more realistic to actually full odds hunt all the Milcery, all the Alchemy, with Scarlet and Violet. Like, as much as I don't like shiny hunting in those games, that at least gives some opportunities for stuff. Am I crazy? I thought I just saw like a flash on the screen. The screen just kind of flashes when you get out of the map. That's weird. You agree with me? Shiny hunting Sword and Shield is really cool for full odds. It's cool for boosted odds too, for in the sense of like shiny charm. I wish the brilliant method was like worth doing more. But that's the thing. It's like people are really, I hate to say it, kind of spoiled on how easy shinies are. So most people would probably not want to see like traditional encounters in the next game. They just want to keep having overworld shinies. But I think if they do traditional encounters, but just have the methods be more effective, I think that'd be like a good middle ground for people. That way shinies are still like really rare from the start, but you can still like do stuff to make them a lot easier. You hope shinies are at least rare in the new remix. I mean, for me, it just comes down to if they're overworld or traditional encounters. Like, I don't think you guys realize just how much easier not having to encounter a Pokemon to see if it's shiny makes finding shinies. Like, that's like the main factor, is the whole overworld thing. That is the main factor. We need a challenge again, or a choice whether we want hard or easy hunts. Exactly. That was one of the issues I had with Legends Arceus. Like, Legends Arceus, I thought shiny hunting was too easy in it, and I still kind of agree. I think it's ridiculous that it, like, forces you to raise your shiny odds just to, like, play through the game effectively. But for me, I was always, like, I was still interested in doing the alphas. Like, just going for alphas, which is what I'm doing now. And it is still hard, like, don't get me wrong, but it's only hard because there's, like, a few Pokemon. Wow. I think that was the earliest time. I think that was the 5-minute timer. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. That was really quick. But yeah, like, it's still hard, but the only reason it's, like, actually hard to find every alpha in this game is because of, like, the space-time distortion exclusives and because of, like, the Burmese. Like, outside of those Pokemon, after they added the massive mass outbreaks, it was really like, what's the point of playing this game if there's no challenge? Like, everything's easy to find. And that's kind of how I feel about Scarlet and Violet right now, too. It's like, everything is just easy to get in Scarlet and Violet. Shinies are easy to get. Mark shinies are easy to get. There is nothing that is remotely challenging in Scarlet and Violet. And it makes it, like, not fun to play. Like, it's fun to play games that have challenges to them. Like, I'm more interested in freaking playing Pokemon Home because there's challenges for Pokemon Home, you know? Toggle on the shiny charm would be great. Again, I mean, that would be great. Don't get me wrong. That'd be awesome. I can't see them ever doing that, but again, like, It's not the shiny charm that's the issue. It's the overworld shinies. That is the main issue. What about overworld encounters but pre-Gen 6 odds? Nope, that wouldn't do anything. I've thought about that. I think Scarlet and Violet shiny hunting would be slightly better if they did 1 in 8, 192 odds, but it would still, like, my longest shiny hunt in Scarlet and Violet took, like, over 10,000 encounters, and that was, like, a couple hours of hunting. Like, if it was 1 in 8, 192, it wouldn't be really any different. So, no. Like, it needs to not be overworld. There's no other way to put it. It just needs to not be overworld. Doesn't matter, like, you could try to think of every possible way to make it more balanced in overworld. The only thing you could do to make it more balanced in the overworld is to make it so that, the Pokemon, honestly, the easiest way to make it more balanced in the overworld is just make it so you can't see them shiny in the overworld. So, like, do it like Sword and Shield. But if you have to see them shiny in the overworld, the only way would be to severely nerf how many Pokemon you can see. Severely. Like, almost in the sense of, like, Legends, but honestly, probably show even less Pokemon. It's, like, the only way. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no way you can have overworld shinies and not have it be, like, the easiest thing to find. I think the only shinies worth from Legends are the Shelfas. If you can find a way to keep everything full odds in Legends, which I know there are ways, but it's like really difficult to do, then full odd shinies can still be like exciting in Legends, but like a lot of times you just phase a bunch anyway. I guess we're already going back to Legends. Are shinies in Pokemon Rumble considered overworld? Yeah, and do you realize why those are 1 in 8, 192, and we have Rumble weekends, literally just a weekend, because of how easy it is to get shinies in those games. The reason why it feels more exciting to find shinies in Rumble is because, one, we don't play that game. That's not the main game that is out, released, and whatnot. And two, it's not mainline. Like, it doesn't affect mainline in any way. It's like its own little thing, and that's what makes it feel different and special. Like, if they had overworld shinies in more of games just like Legends, like, just don't have it be every game. Have it be like... Oh my gosh, why am I at 265? Did I switch my counter again? I'm on my Mew counter. Was I, like, selecting both counters at the same time? Is that possible? We should be at 261. But dude, I don't know. Maybe my Mew counter's off now. I don't think so, because my Mew counter was selected. That's really weird. I don't know how the... I really don't know how